All right, hi guys. Here's your notes for Wednesday night. You should pull up your digital interactive notebook and you should get your Unit 2A workbook and open to page 29. That's examples page. So you should already have put your name on here. We're going to go ahead and fill in our table of contents. So right here, slide 11 and 12 is we're going to talk about multiplying polynomials. Go ahead and pause here so you guys can write that. Okay, so what you guys are going to do for your notes is you're going to just highlight where the little blue boxes are, and then just go ahead and type this in here. So multiplying monomials, a monomial is a single term times a single term. All you have to do is multiply coefficients, that's the number in front, remember, and add exponents on matching variables. Okay, so you just typed it in, you didn't handwrite it, but you multiply coefficients and you add exponents on matching variables. So on our example, it says 17xy cubed times 2x to the 7th y squared. So the first thing you're going to do is multiply your coefficients. So coefficients, remember, are the numbers in front. So 17 times 2. Then you add your exponents on the matching variables. So this is x to the power of, that's little caret, you use shift 6 to get there. That's what you do if you can't like make an exponent. But technically the x to the power of 1 right here and 7 right here. So you're going to add the exponents, 1 plus 7. And then on the y, you have a 3 and 2. So you add those together right here. So our answer, 17 times 2 is 34. X to the power of 8, y to the power of 5. So it's a monomial with a monomial. You multiply coefficients, add exponents on matching variables. So again, I think to do an exponent in Google Classroom, you can hit, I think it's like format, text, superscript, or you can just use this little shift 6 that means exponent. All right, down here it says if when you're multiplying integers, if the signs are the same, whether they're both positive or both negative, your answer is going to end up being positive. So if they're both positive, you multiply and get positive. If they're both negative, a negative times a negative is also positive. And then if signs are different, one's positive, one's negative, your answer is going to be negative. All right, on this right-hand side, I don't know how well this is going to fit. Your lines might get a little messed up or go longer. You might have to like change the font size or something to make it fit. So the first step with multiplying polynomials is you're going to draw, we're going to do box method with multiplying. If you prefer doing like double distribution or the distribution method, that's fine. Box method is a good way to organize your work if you're making a lot of small mistakes because of the distribution, like forgetting a term or something's happening. Then you need to go to box method. So if you don't have a preferred method, then you should just go ahead and use box method. All right, so step 1 when you're doing box method is you want to go ahead and draw boxes to match polynomial term numbers. So what that means is however many terms are in the polynomial, you want to draw your boxes. Like if it's a if the polynomials that you're multiplying is like a binomial with a binomial, there's 2 terms in each, then you put two boxes across and 2 boxes going down. So it's 4 boxes total. If you were multiplying like a binomial with a trinomial, you'd have like 2 times 3, so it'd be 6 boxes total. Step 2 is you're going to put your terms from your polynomials across the top and down the side. So you put your terms, 1 for each box. Then step 3 is to fill your boxes by multiplying the monomials that are down the side and across the top. Then the last step is to just combine like terms to simplify. So I'm kind of big on writing steps. So when you're doing a problem, you're like, okay, what do I do first? You can go and look at what the first term is. And, you know, once you get stuck on a step, we can look at what the next step is and see if you can at least get there. So this next part is a box method, but I just use these little fun shapes. So our first polynomial is a heart plus triangle, so there's two terms. Then my second polynomial is square plus happy face. So they each have two terms. So I have a 2 by 2 for my box. I have two boxes going across the top and then two boxes going down the side. And then you put your terms across the top and down the side. So the top, it doesn't matter which one's which. I could have put heart and triangle on the top, but I went heart and triangle down the side, right here and right here. Then I did my square and my happy face across the top, square, happy face. Then what you're going to do is fill the boxes by multiplying the monomials. It's like a multiplication chart. So you can actually click and drag. There should be like boxes on top of the boxes and hearts on top of the hearts. So you are going to just click and drag it over. I'm going to just write it. So in this first box, you would multiply the heart and the square together. So it'd be heart times square. So you can just drag one of the hearts over and then one of the squares over. You don't have to put a multiplication sign in between. Then across, you know, the top and down the side, we multiply the heart with the happy face. So it would be heart times happy face. You can drag them over. And then down here you would have triangle times your square. And on the last one, you would have your triangle times your happy face. So these will actually be monomials, but that's how it goes. You multiply them like a box method or a multiplication chart. And then for your answer, you combine any like terms. Here there aren't any like terms, but you would list your terms in descending order. All right, now you need to grab page 29 for our examples. With the last video, I heard that it kind of turned sideways, so I'm going to try to not turn my iPad and hopefully it'll be okay. So for this problem, it says to rewrite using distribution property. We're just going to go ahead and use box method. So you can like cross off these 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to do kind of our own thing. Okay, so you have a binomial. There's two terms times a binomial. So it's a 2 by 2. You're going to need two boxes across the top and two boxes down the side. And then my first polynomial says x squared plus 3. So it doesn't matter if it goes across the top or down the side, but you put the x squared on top of one box and the 3 in the other. You do not have to use the plus sign. If, you know, there's a plus sign in between them, you don't have to write it. And then I'm going to take my x plus 6 and I'm going to put down this side, x 6. I don't have to put the plus sign. And then we're going to go ahead and fill them out. So when I multiply x times x, you multiply coefficients. It's really just ones in front, right? So it's 1 times 1 is just 1. I don't have to write it. And then x times x squared, you add the coefficients. Or I'm sorry, you add the exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3. So this one's x cubed. Then we multiply 3 times x. Well, you just put those together as 3x. X squared times 6. 1 times 6 is just 6. And then you just keep the x squared. And then the last box, 6 times 3, that's 18. Then you look to see if you have any like terms. I have an x cubed, an x squared, an x, and an 18. So nothing is a like term. So I just list them out for my answer with plus signs in between. X cubed plus 6x squared plus 3x plus 18. And that's my answer. So you could do double distribution method, and if you're good at that method, when you do your homework and classwork, you can do that. But for now, we're going to use box method. All right, let's go do it again. So you guys will get the hang of it. So my next one says simplify the expression negative 5x plus 2 times 3x squared minus x plus 4. Okay, so this first polynomial has two terms. Okay, so I'm going to go 2 down the side. And the second polynomial has three terms, 3x squared minus x plus 4. So I'm going to go 3 boxes across the top. Okay, so it doesn't matter. I could have had it going long, like tall ways too. So the first term is negative 5x, so you do have to put the negative sign with it. The plus 2, you do not have to put the plus sign. My second polynomial is 3x squared, negative x, so you do have to put the minus sign with it, and positive 4. You do not have to put the plus sign. And then we're just going to fill in all of our boxes. So when you multiply coefficients, add exponents. So negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. X times x squared, you have 2 x's here, 1 x here, so it's x cubed. Negative 5x times negative x. Negative 5 times negative x turns it to a positive 5. X times x becomes x squared. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20, and then you just keep the x. 3x squared times 2, 3 times 2 is 6, and then we have x squared. Negative x times 2, we just put it together as negative 2x. 4 times 2 is 8. All right, so for our answer, we go ahead and look for any like terms. Okay, so I had these right here are both x squareds, and these both right here are x's. It happens a lot that they're diagonal from each other. Not always, but it happens. All right, so we start with our highest exponent. That's negative 15x cubed. You're adding these, combining like terms, you're adding them together. So if you have 6x squareds here and 5x squareds here, then that means you have a total of 11x squareds. Negative 20x minus 2x, they're both negative, so you add them together and keep it negative, negative 22x, and then your constant is an 8 at the end. So you make your boxes, and then you go ahead and do multiplication. You multiply coefficients, add exponents. All right. Next, last example says 3x to the fourth plus 10x squared minus 4x. That has 3 terms. And then x cubed minus 8x squared plus x has 3 terms as well. So we're going to need a 3 by 3. That means we're going to have 9 boxes total. Drew mine pretty big. All right, now I'm going to fill out my polynomials across the top and down the side. It doesn't matter which one goes which because they're both are 3. So I have 3x to the fourth plus 10x squared, so I don't have to write the plus sign, minus 4x. I do have to write the minus sign there. And then x cubed down the side, minus 8x squared. Do have to put the minus sign, and plus x. All right, so when we fill it in, multiply coefficients, add exponents. Anytime it's like just an x cubed or an x, there's technically a 1 there. So x cubed times 3x to the fourth, 3x to the seventh, because 3 times 1 is 3, and then add the exponents, 3 plus 4 is 7. X cubed times 10x squared, you multiply. The 1 and the 10 is just 10. Add your exponents. 3 plus 2 is 5. X cubed times negative 4x. Well, you just keep the negative 4. X cubed times x becomes x to the fourth. Keep filling them out. So 3x to the fourth times negative 8x squared. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. X to the fourth times x squared. You add them, get x to the sixth. 10x squared times negative 8x squared. You multiply 10 times negative 8, you get negative 80. X squared times x squared, add and get x to the fourth. Negative 8x squared times negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 8, they're both negative, so when you multiply them, you get a positive 32. X squared times x becomes x cubed. All right, last thing we're going to do is multiply all of them on the top times this x over on the bottom. So 3x to the fourth becomes 3x to the fifth. 10x cubed becomes 10x to the third, because basically we're just adding an x. Well, we're multiplying by an x, we're adding an exponent. Negative 4x times x is negative 4x squared. And then we're just going to go ahead and list our polynomial in descending order. We combine any like terms. So my highest exponent is a 3x to the seventh. There's nothing to combine with that one. Then I have negative 24x to the sixth. There's no other x to the sixth, so I just go ahead and write that one next to it. I do have 2x to the fifth, though. I have them right here. 3x to the fifth and 10x to the fifth gives me a positive 13x to the fifth. I have a couple of x to the fourths right here. Negative 80x to the fourth and negative 4x to the fourth. They're both negative, so you add them together and keep it negative. Then I have a couple of boxes with x cubes, 32x cubed and 10x cubed, both positive, so I'm just going to add them together, 42x cubed. And then lastly is my negative 4x squared. Nothing to combine with that. And that's my final answer. So however many terms there are, that's how you make your boxes across the top and down the side. Fill in your multiplication chart by multiplying coefficients, adding the exponents. All right, now what do? You got to take a photo of those examples you just did, page 29 and 30, and then you insert them onto the slides presentation for your notes on slide 12. You do not turn in your notebook until the day of the test. So you're filling in your notes. That's your homework assignment so that you're ready for the next day in class, but you do not turn it in. Do not submit it. Don't forget to use the sticky notes on slide 11. If you had questions while I was going over it, you put it on that one on the left. Everybody should be able to write a summary, though, of what they learned and put that over on the sticky on the left. Okay.